Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country's Mother Day edition. I'm Donna.
I'm Paula, and today we have Kirstie Kraus and her mum, Mrs. Kraus. How are you doing, guys?
Great.
So good. How are you guys?
Very good, very good. Thank you so much for joining us on this special event that we've got planned. So, thank you so much.
This is like the sweetest thing ever. When I got the email, it was a no-brainer to say yes. I mean, thank you guys for making this Mother's Day extra special and being able to have me on to do this so we can celebrate my awesome mom.
Fun.
See, we have to celebrate mums. You know, they're our biggest support systems, and we need to celebrate them and show them how amazing they are. So,
Yes.
You got to celebrate the women behind the women.
Yes.
Well said.
That's perfect.
So.
We should have that as a slogan somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah, that's definitely a good slogan.
Women's support. Yeah. Okay. See. Perfect.
So, how are you? Let me just ask one quick question. How are you surviving the whole COVID thing? Is it getting back to normal for you and life in general, or?
Wisconsin's still pretty shut down, our county anyway. Dane County is pretty more strict. When you get outside of Dane County and up north Wisconsin, things are pretty open. But I continued to work. We were shut down for a while, but I still went into the office and did all the payroll and all that kind of stuff. So it really hadn't affected me that much as far as work. And, you know, I miss going out to eat more or watching music, but it's starting to come back.
That's good. That's good.
You went out to live music last night, right?
Saturday night, yeah. We saw your old
Saturday
band member.
night?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool. I'm glad you guys went.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we need more live music.
For sure. For sure. Yes. That's why we went to Florida for 12 days, so we could listen to live music and be outside. It was a nice break from the Wisconsin weather.
Yeah, they actually joined us. My mom and my dad came down and joined us for, you said 12 days? 12 days in Florida.
12 days, 7 shows. We got to go to.
During our tour. They were like, we're not going to let you go down to Florida for that long and have us not come and be a part of it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Absolutely. And Florida's the best place to be when it's winter everywhere else.
Of course. And they don't want any more people to move down there, but I'm like, I might have to go down there in the winter. I don't know. I really liked it.
The winter sun. It's got to be good.
Well, let me know if you want something away from all the beach and traffic. I know a couple good areas here on the West Coast, so.
Oh, okay.
Help me out.
Yes.
She's pretty serious about looking at a second or a third place.
Should we sell our condo here in Madison and move to Florida? Florida and Nashville? I don't know.
Yes.
I know.
COVID here is, Nashville's really starting to open up a little bit more. I've noticed there's a lot more people on Broadway. There's just a lot more people visiting. I think the planes are more full. So it's starting. Of course, so people have their masks on. All the workers have their masks on. People have their masks on when they're up out of the table. But the big thing that just happened is live music can be till the end of the night, till bar time, and you can dance.
Oh, nice. That's a huge...
For a while, there was no dancing. It was like an episode of Footloose or something. Like, you have to sit in your chair. So I've gotten really good at dancing in my chair while I'm singing, kind of like the version of dancing. And I noticed I still do it. So sometimes I have to make fun of myself on stage for that. But dancing is open now. And so it's been good. It's feeling good to be back home and have events start happening again. There's definitely like charity events and just events like that happening in Nashville again, which is good.
That was a great analogy. Footloose, definitely.
Well, that was my parents' first date. Was the Footloose
movie.
movie.
I love that film. It's a great film.
Yes.
The original.
The original one. Yeah,
the
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, you can never beat the original. You know.
I know.
The remakes are not always as good.
No.
I love Julian Huff, but I like the original one.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't beat Kevin Bacon.
No.
That's so cool.
All right, so we're going to ask you some fun Mother's Day questions.
Okay.
So let's say, hypothetically, we're not going to carry on now, sorry. Hypothetically, someone comes to you and says they need to hide a body. Do you know a good place?
These
I
are
don't know. We live on a golf course, so we probably could put it in the ravine down there where the water is.
Wow, you're quick, Mom. Not
That was very good. I love
the geese
that.
will
That's a
eat the
great
rest.
answer.
Right, exactly. There's like 2 ponds right by us, so put some bricks on. I don't know, like what you see in the movies.
That's funny.
Oh,
That's perfect.
so, what
Good
was
answer.
the best thing before sliced bread?
Best thing before sliced bread. You mean I have to think of something that was invented before bread?
Take it as you will,
We can do
Mother.
since, like after.
Yeah.
Oh my
After,
goodness.
Yeah.
She's
That's
a
a
literal
hard one.
person. So
Yes, I'm a very literal person, so that's very difficult for me. Gosh, it'd have to be something that was a great idea. The first thing that came to mind was my avocado cutter, peeler,
there you go.
nut remover. It's all in one tool. And I love it.
You
This
do
is the
love
best
that
thing
thing.
ever. Yeah, you don't get cut because it's plastic. And you used to have to cut the avocado and then try to get the nut out. This just does everything, and it's plastic. And I'll just go with that.
And when you eat as much avocados as you do,
Yes, we eat a lot of avocados. So Kirstie
Yes.
got us on those kicks. We never used to eat avocados until Kirstie started eating a lot of them.
Oh, so it's
Yes,
Kirsty's.
yes.
I have guac in the other room, like still left over from the tacos I just ate. So that has my
or we
name on it.
slice them and put them in sandwiches or mush
Yeah.
them up. And
I think that's a good answer, Mom.
yeah, there we go. That's a good one.
Okay, I'm an avocado lover too. There's always at least
Nice.
3 in the fridge, always.
Yes.
So, if you could talk to anyone, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would you want to talk about?
Oh gosh, these are such hard questions. Like Kirstie just
Just-
flows with these answers, and I'm like,
It's more just like the first person you think about, like roll with it.
Yeah, like
I know.
I use examples like Mother Teresa or the Dalai Lama or whatever. Like
Yeah,
Your
that's
old
kind of what
movie-
I was thinking. I mean,
or
like
your movie star crush. You loved Tom Cruise. I mean, he's still alive, but
I don't want to say too much about Tom Cruise. I always loved Tom Cruise. He's got a different personality, and the whole Scientology thing I'm kind of weird about. But for some reason, him as an actor, I've just always loved
Watched
him.
every
It would be
movie.
fun to pick his brain about this whole Scientology thing, and then the whole thing with Katie. What was her name?
Holmes. is
Katie
that it?
Holmes and his daughter. I heard he hasn't seen his daughter, for years and years. So that, maybe I'll go with that. Like he was always very handsome. I just liked him in movies, even though I thought his personality was a little different.
Yeah, and he played a lot of different roles. Like he was in, a lot of big movies, and I really feel like being at that level as an actor and actress, like I could learn so much from a person like that. Just like, what does it take to get into a character?
Well,
like
and
that?
especially he does a lot of his own stunts. And I'm not a big person that likes violence or anything, but those Mission Impossible movies are just fun to watch because they're like a James Bond. It's not they're so out there. It's like that really wouldn't be happening, that he would be hanging from a helicopter flying, you know. But he did a lot of his own stunts, which I was pretty impressed with, that he did that. And he's been around for a long time. He's still very marketable, and he's played like, different characters like Rain Man, where he was the brother, and then the Mission Impossible one.
Super fan.
And then of course it all started with Top Gun, you know.
Oh, come on. You can't beat Top Gun.
I know.
You really can sit and talk about
This is funny because the neighbor, when we used to live, like when the kids were little, you know, the neighbor would say, when we were talking about, you know, fooling around or whatever, he goes, "Oh, just go put Top Gun on there for Lori, you know, you'll get lucky tonight." So
That's funny.
That was Danny, right?
Oh, nice.
But I always say that, yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay. What sitcom family would you be a member of?
Oh gosh, I used to love well, Friends came up first, but I used to love the show Knots Landing. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh yeah.
That was like my Thursday nights. I loved to watch like Friends and Knots Landing. I didn't get into Dallas and all those other ones, but for some reason I like Knots Landing and Nicole Sheridan, and I thought that it got to be fun to live on that cul-de-sac. I always got the kids' baths done early that night, so I could actually sit and watch a couple TV shows, because that never happens, you know, when you have young kids. But yeah, I just like the characters. They wasn't so dramatic as some of the other ones at that time, you know, like Dallas or Dynasty. I didn't watch those, but 90%. Then I like Knots Landing.
Yeah, they were all a bit, weren't they?
That was before your time, Kirstie. You were little then.
I remember Friends though. Like I remember Friends when it was first showing reruns, not like, you know, or did I watch some of the original ones?
We did when you guys were little. I think that's when it was out.
So see, I was around when Friends was on TV.
Yeah.
On, like no reruns.
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink?
I love craft beers, and I love to try different kinds of craft beers. So right now I'm into the like the Hefeweizens, the German light beer, you know, those citrusy beers. Yeah. Those are like my favorite.
Spoken like a true Wisconsinite.
Yeah. I mean, if I have to, I'll drink a Corona, but I really like to try different craft beers.
We should have you on when we're doing the sour beer Friday night happy hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Lydia, you're on.
Okay.
If you could add someone to Mount Rushmore, who would it be and why?
I guess my first inclination was Kennedy. I just remember when he was shot. I was in kindergarten, and but so many of his quotes and so many things, he just seems like he was good for both parties, I guess, even though he was more considered a Democrat. I just feel like he had both parties like working together, or he just was a good representation of both people, and he just seemed to bring the country together more than any other president that I can think of, you know, in my time.
Perfect. That's a great answer, wasn't it?
Get that puffball.
I know, that face.
You need a haircut, but
looks soft. Very soft.
My little man, aren't you? He's the only man in the house.
So who are some of the women that inspired you? And not just music, anyone. Just who are some of the women that inspired you when you were growing up and felt like really great role models for women?
Oh gosh. I feel like I was so secluded growing up in like northern Wisconsin. I really didn't know that much about the outside world. I've always liked some of my teachers, you know, I can think of. Otherwise, I can't. I mean, I guess I read a lot of books, so maybe it was more authors than anything. That was my way out of my little corner of the world, you know, like
You like Laura
unfortunately,
Ingalls.
I was just going to say Laura Ingalls Wilder, her books are banned, which I just cannot absolutely believe. But I read all her books when I was 9 years old. And then I think I read them again, like when I was 12, the whole series. And part of her journey was in Wisconsin. So for me, that was pretty cool. But I think some of the authors like that would draw me in and be able to create, you know, learn about these other worlds. I was such a reader, even like at 9, I was keeping track of all the books I read. I always had a book going.
You had a list.
My mom thought I was such a nerd, but that was my way to create movies for myself, is to read. And I've just always been a reader. So I guess some of the women authors like that brought history to life for me, that they were stories, but plus I was learning something about history.
Yeah.
Those are wonderful.
What's the favorite thing you do with your daughter?
Oh, I don't know. What do you? I guess watching her sing is the most fun for me, and just watching her be on stage, and even growing up, taking her and watching her shine on stage, because she just seemed to love it so much. You know, that was more fun for me. But I enjoy working together behind the scenes too, like when we're on a roll and we're working through budgets or spreadsheets or marketing ideas. Mostly it's just watching her on stage. She definitely is home up there. And it's weird because no one else in our family has ever been that way. So that makes it even more special.
Yeah.
You know, we've never been able to watch another relative get up on stage and sing. We're all the accounting, business type people, nurses. And then there's Kirstie. I don't know where she came from. If I hadn't given birth to her, I would wonder if she was mine. But
I like when we go on walks and we have family dinners, or even family like movie nights, and we all make popcorn, and then afterwards we splurge some more and then have ice cream.
Those are fun.
Yeah. I like just like the normal stuff.
Yeah. Eating together is always fun. I like gathering everybody around and just being able to eat, because then you have a good conversation. It seems like you get them kind of without their phones and everything, and everybody can talk, and that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Absolutely. So what's one of the craziest or funniest things your daughter ever did for Mother's Day?
I don't remember any specific things for Mother's Day.
Trying to think back to like.
Okay, so what's something special that was crazy or funny that she did for you? It may not might be Mother's Day now. So
she's always been good at doing really cute homemade cards, and she does that a lot for Mother's Day. I guess Mother's Day and my birthday are the big ones, but I've had these big ones, and they'll put pictures on them and write stories and tell them how thankful they are and how much they love you. And that was always the most special to me. Even if she buys a store-made card nowadays, she'll always write a whole like letter inside of it. So I guess that's the best thing. Rather have that than anything else, you know.
Perfect.
Well, you turned 60. And it wasn't a surprise. I
wasn't a
couldn't keep
surprise.
the surprise in.
No, Dad was having a heart attack. He goes, I can't do a surprise. I'm too stressed out. He was just like, so they finally had to tell me. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun. They planned the whole thing. Her and Kelsey, pictures. They played balloons, a meal, buffet for everybody. Yeah, it was fun.
Wow.
And we did it kind of like a graduation party. So we sent out invites in the mail to people like in advance with a picture. It was fun. The place was absolutely packed, and that says everything about who my mom is as a person. And people drove from all over to come just to celebrate with her on her 60th birthday, and that was
I know my
really
cousin
cool.
came down from Bloomer, which is about 3 hours. So I was happy about that. That was fun. I don't have a lot of relatives, so him and I are pretty close. That was fun. Yeah.
That's really sweet. Okay, what is a favorite memory of your daughter?
Oh, I used to write down things that she would say and do. And I have it in a notebook, and I'm going to give it to the kids yet. For some reason, I read this, to write down funny things that they say or do. And she used to just say the most hilarious thing. But we were just talking about the kindergarten thing, this morning. And
Go ahead.
the teacher wrote me a note, and she's like, well, Kirstie was kind of, not so nice to this person. And so she came home, and I'm like, because she's such a leader, everybody would follow her. She was one of the older kids in her class, and she has that personality. I said, Kirstie, people follow you. You got to be the leader. You got to be a good leader, though. You got to listen to the teacher and get the other kids to listen to the teacher. So she walked up to the kindergarten teacher the next day with her hands on her hips. She goes, Mrs. DeRubis, I've changed my ways. And she did. So that was good.
Yeah.
It's funny things like that. Yeah.
Instead of continuing my art project when the teacher wanted to do story time, instead I was like, everybody come on. You sit here and you sit here and we're getting ready for story time.
She was a little bossy.
But at least it's helpful.
Yeah.
Turn helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you make a good point, though. I think the bossy category is all like CEOs and, Yeah.
Exactly. They said the teachers were so good, because I would always be so worried, because I was always a quiet, bookwormy, type of person that had this daughter that was like this big personality. And they're like, well, at least she listens. She talks a lot, but then we tell her to be quiet. She'll listen. So they were like, the things that you don't like now will probably be valuable as she's an adult. So I'm like, okay, I'll think about that.
And you definitely need that strong personality to be in music. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom told me that when I was really little. I started talking. How old was I when I started talking?
Well, you were carrying on conversations the day you turned 2. When we went to a craft show, and she was talking to some lady, and the lady goes, how old is she? I go, she just turned 2. And she goes, oh my gosh. They were carrying on a conversation. So I didn't think anything of it at the time until I saw other kids, our nieces and nephews. I'm like, they're not talking yet. I guess I just thought that was normal, but she was a talker.
Yeah. And I couldn't figure out why my mom wasn't happy when I sang the ABCs in church. Because she was happy every other time I sang ABCs, but for some reason in church, when I would be busting it out, it was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great story. I love that. So besides the fact that obviously she's more extroverted in some ways, do you think your daughter has more of your good qualities or your exceptional qualities?
I don't know if I have any exceptional qualities. Yeah, I think she's a good listener, and I don't want to say analyzer, but you read people well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I used to do that as well at her age, but I did some management stuff at her age, HR stuff, and where I started to learn that. So I think that she has that already. I think that was more innate in you than just mine was more learned after all the interviews you do and you start figuring out people. She's got a good business mind. I think I'm better like at numbers and stuff, but she's better at the marketing. And even though I graduated in marketing, I'm more the number part of the marketing, where she's more the sales. I would never, wanted sales. So, yeah, good and exceptional, I guess. Those parts. And she's a softie and inside, even though she doesn't show it too much.
I think I picked up the empathy part.
Yes.
From you, and like the people pleasing part, wanting people to be just happy around me. But I think my mom in the last couple years has really come out of her shell. And she was always smiley. She was always nice to everybody. And I feel like being around that as a young child, I learned that from from
Yeah.
her like that. And she always radiated positivity.
They told me that even in high school, they used to call me Smiley, that I would smile at everybody in the hall, and I just did. Hi, hi, hi. I was just like, I forgot about that.
That's good. Yeah, but that one smile could cheer up one person that's having a really bad day. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
smile
And
is
I always
amazing.
try to put smiley faces in my emails or something if they're not, if they don't have to be too professional, like Happy Monday, have a great Tuesday, you know, I'll try to make it, try to end the email on a positive note anyway.
That's good. I like that. That's perfect. Okay, so what's your most memorable family vacation?
Ooh.
Oh, it had to be one of the Disney trips. We went to Disney twice. I think the first one, Kirstie was about 8 and Kelsey was 5. And that was so much fun because they just were in awe of everything. And we were running around trying to get to character autographs, and we stayed right at Disneyland. I think we were there for 5 days or something. And that it was just fun to take them on all the rides and for them to see everything. I think we had just as much fun, you know, as they did. But yeah, that was definitely probably one of the most memorable vacations when they were little.
How could you not love Disneyland? I mean,
I know, I know. We went there
Disneyland-
when Kirstie was 8, and then I think again when she was 12. Well, and when we went there at 8, when you were 8, it was Halloween. So,
Chewy bars. That's where my love of chewy bars started.
well, and you got to buy a special ticket for the night. So they cleared out the park, and then we bought tickets for that night based on what a neighbor had told us. Remember Sammy's mom and dad? So there was like
Yeah.
hardly anybody. I mean, there was a lot of people there, but you could walk up to the rides and get right on. So that was awesome because it was, and then they had a Halloween parade.
Yeah.
So that it was just a little bit unique. That was fun.
It's very cool. Very, very cool. I love Disneyland.
We just threw out Kelsey's autograph book. She was going through her box. She goes, "Why do I still have this Disney autograph book by all the characters?" I'm like, "You sure you don't want that?" She's like,
It was
"No,
so
Mom."
cute.
I know. Get pictures of them with all the characters signing their autograph book, you know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was fun.
Mhm.
It is really cute.
That is.
In your opinion, what's one piece of advice that you want to give your daughter or you've given your daughter?
What piece of advice am I always trying to give you? I don't know. I guess always just, I'm always trying to, what did I want to say? Not make you stay positive, but to always, not, sometimes you get so down and out or something. I always want her to be on the positive side more, or,
It never lets me get too worked up about
Yeah.
something that doesn't need all of that energy. And I feel like
right. And
she
sometimes
steers
Kirstie
me
does.
away from that
Yeah.
all the time.
Like it's not going to be the end of the world, you know, the world is not going to stop turning if you don't get this done today. Like sometimes she has a list this long and then she gets overwhelmed. I'm like, all that doesn't have to be done. If this whole thing is going to happen, it's going to happen on, somebody else's plan or, I always try to tell her that you didn't get that dream put in your heart if it wasn't going to happen. And it's not just those couple emails in one day is not going to make or break that. So you need to take a deep breath and spend a little time meditating or, yoga or walk or something to keep yourself calm. Because it's a hard business. I mean, it's so much easier going to work 8 to 5, getting a paycheck and stuff. What she's doing it's tough and can be overwhelming because you can work. She works sometimes 24/7. It's like, Kirstie, take a break. I can't. I'm like, yes, you can.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those
No
things
pun
that you have to be seen all the time. If you disappear for a little while, people, move on. It's a really fickle
Yes,
industry.
it
Really,
is. But you got to take a
It's-
day off here and there, like a Sunday or something, and she doesn't.
Take mom's advice. Take some time off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a walk.
I do
Go
like
do a
half
hike.
a day. Yeah, I need to do that. And you did
Get
that.
out and hike and enjoy the things down
Enjoy
there.
the weather. Yes, definitely. Okay. What strange cravings did you have while you were pregnant with your daughter?
With Kirstie, it was Pizza Hut pizza. I don't know why, but I loved Pizza Hut pizza. I was actually pretty sick with her, so there's a lot of things that just, like we lived in Florida at the time. Like we lived over by Fort Lauderdale, and I'd walk out in the morning and the smell of that wet dirt, I thought I was gonna lose it. So there was only certain things that I could eat, like even the smell of toast was, and I love toast, but that was like the yeast or something. I don't know, but Pizza Hut pizza, man.
What did you order on the pizza?
Well, back then there wasn't as, wasn't as like weird it is now. Basically, mushroom and sausage, and that was about it.
Okay.
But I love the thin crust and the, just that crunchiness and the, yeah.
Mhm. That's perfect. Do you like Pizza Hut pizza though, Kirstie?
Do I like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And to me, I think that's just like when you think of pizza, I guess like ordering pizza, I think of that with mushrooms, sausage, and black olives. Because back home, it was called the Badger Pizza. And that's what they would always order. They would call and they'd be like, we want the Badger Pizza. So to me, that's what pizza should taste like. Kind of like cereal, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yes.
Like
Pizza.
I was like a major fan, like every morning, right, Mom? Every morning from the time I was like really little to every school morning up through high school, I ate Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to introduce you both when you're in Florida next time to a really good wood fire pizza.
Ooh, yes.
It's a really good one.
I love that.
Down the street, so to speak, and we're going to have to try that.
I know. I feel like I could eat pizza all the time because you get so many different kinds, and it's it's got a little bit of veggies on it, a little bit of meat, and the crust, and I could eat pizza a couple times a week, for sure.
So now I know you mentioned that Kirstie's the only one that has the performing singing, but did you play an instrument or anything when you were growing up, or no?
No.
Did you just do choir?
No.
You didn't have to wait. That wasn't required in school? It wasn't required to do a music class?
I don't think so. I think I took choir in 9th grade because Lori wanted me to do it or something. Well, I think she just talked me into trying out for the play, and I had to sing Happy Birthday, and they like kind of shoved me in the chorus somewhere, but maybe in 4th and 5th and 6th grade I was in choir, when they had to have it in that grade. But no, I wanted to take the clarinet in 5th grade, but I don't know if my mom, if they just didn't have the money or what, but she kind of pushed it away,
She really didn't want to hear you.
Yeah, so I never even got to try an instrument.
My grandma, she probably was like, nah, you're not doing any of those instruments.
Right. So no.
What?
Great. You can try now.
I know.
Yeah, you could.
I know. I kind of played the piano a little bit when you were taking lessons. Remember, I would sit down and I knew the basic, C, E, that was about it. Yeah. Very left-brained. I don't know.
She makes a point.
Is left brain good for music?
I mean, math.
Because I was really good in math. I was a math science person more than anything.
I would think definitely on the rhythm and the beats, and because they're all counting, and absolutely.
Yeah. She definitely makes a point to learn all of the lyrics to all the songs. Like she will make a phone call and ask me about a specific line if she can't get it.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Like she's been singing the song Bird for so long and I can't figure out this one line. I'm like, I know I'm getting older, my hearing, but I cannot get this line.
It was your shade don't got merit. Share it with somebody else who wants to waste their time.
Yeah, I could not get that line. Shade, merit. Yeah.
I love it.
The way I sing it, it's like a rapid,
Yes.
mouthful.
Yes.
Not quite a tongue twister, but almost.
Yes.
That must be quite, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. What was your first concert?
Oh boy. When I was in high school, I think we saw Kiss
That was your
at
first.
a gym in Rockford, like a small little gym.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, Kiss. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
And I think Cheap Trick opened up for them. So we
Nice.
drove to Rockford in high school. I was probably a junior. And yeah, we saw Kiss. I thought that was so weird because then the next year or two, they had their song that blew up about the party all night. No, party every day. Rock and roll all night and party
all
every
day.
day. Yes, I saw them in a little gym in Rockford, like a middle school gym that had like those big stages and then
That's
just like the
crazy.
gym floor. Yeah,
You went to Peter Frampton too, right?
I
With
did,
Aunt
yeah.
Terry?
I took,
How-
yeah,
How old were you then? Like a junior?
probably right after high school, or maybe I was like
Oh.
in high school then. And Styx was another one of my first concerts that I went to. And
They
I went
always
to
play
Ozzy
Styx.
Osbourne because my boyfriend wanted to. And I kind of like passed out, so I don't really remember that much of that one. I wasn't into that music at all. That too much, that was too much for me. But yeah, I like the softer rock, I guess, like Peter Frampton.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some amazing names.
I
in there. That's
know.
so cool.
My first concert was Leanne Rimes.
Yes. She
And
was
then
7.
Shania Twain. I was 7 years old when I went to see Leanne Rimes, and she was actually my last concert that I went to was September of, was it 2019? Yeah, right
Must have
before. September 2019 was my last like big concert that I went
She was
to,
at
and
the
that was at the
Ryman. Right?
Ryman.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's so
Yeah, I
cool.
heard
I had
about
tissues. Like, it was great.
Kirstie was starting to sing, and I remember talking to Danielle Straw's mom, and she's like, "Oh, this Leanne Rimes, she's a young country singer. She's gonna be at Summerfest." Like, "Oh, really?" So we went to Summerfest and watched her. That was fun.
Cool.
We were way in the
Danielle
grass
Straw's
seats.
mom.
But, yep.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that she was the one who told you that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Very cool.
It's my soccer buddy.
So when did you know that Kirstie was musically inclined? Was it when she was just young and singing her ABCs in church, or?
She always sang in the car, and we always had these cassettes going, and she would sing along, but I never thought anything of it because she had this really like raspy voice when she was little. But we took her to plays, like she wanted to go see plays, high school plays when she was like 6 or 7. She would sit on the edge of her seat and just be in awe. And I'm like, wow, this hyper kid is just sitting here watching this stuff. And then her music teacher, she got like a little solo in first grade,
I
kindergarten.
was in 5th grade for We Has Jazz.
No, but first grade, you got your first little solo in the Christmas thing when you were the little mouse.
Oh yeah.
And
Leave out a little snack.
and the music teacher came up to me. She goes, you know your daughter can sing, right? And I'm like, really? Because no one in our family sings. I didn't know if she was singing good or bad or anything. And she said, yeah. And then, she kind of followed. Kirstie was in the same grade school for a couple of years. And I'm like, well, what is different about her? There's so many people that can sing.
Mhm.
And I just remember her telling me this. She goes, there's a lot of people that can sing. But then there's those people that have that extra spark when they're on stage. And she said, that's your daughter. And I'm like, oh, okay. What do I do with her? I don't know. Martina McBride got to be in her family's band. All these people had families that had musical talent. And I'm like, didn't know what to do with her. So yeah, just get her in community theater. And we went from there.
Yeah, I mean, my mom asked every single person who would listen questions. I mean, she's being really modest right now. She made it her mission to
Yeah.
fulfill a little girl's dream. Because when I was 6, I declared in school too that I wanted to be a singer. So lo and behold, I was like, learning, by 6 I was in plays and dance and piano, and eventually got into voice lessons at 9, and she drove me to so many things. Wherever I sang national anthem or some church festival, like, it was all because of her. It's not, as a 6-year-old, I had no idea, or 7, what we were going to, but I was just excited I was going to go sing.
Yeah, I think it has helped getting involved in that, and then asking around, and then find out about this competition, and we traveled to Missouri for a competition. We traveled to Illinois, and they're like, you don't have, like, when she first started singing, she didn't know how to act on stage, and they're like, oh, you need more stage presence. So I go up and then talk to the thing, like, well, what do you mean? Like, how could, I'm like trying to figure it all out.
You tried to choreograph moves for me for a couple things. Yodeling.
Got you a couple special outfits sewn too, so you look like a little cowgirl. And
I had a purple cowgirl outfit. I mean,
little white cowboy boots. Yeah. We tried. Yeah. We find out about these different competitions, and I'm like, well, it's a talent. It's a scholarship competition, but they have a talent show, so let's go to that. Let's get involved in that. And then I'd always say, it's okay if you don't win. It's just all about the experience. So we had a lot of experiences and a lot of trial and error because we didn't know, or I didn't know.
I think you make a great.
Just wait until you're really, really famous, and then you've got the museum in Nashville, and they're going to have that little suit is going to be there on show for everybody to see.
Yeah,
we still have that purple dress.
Probably, Mom. I still have my janitor outfit that has my name on it. From like show choir, so I gotta have that somewhere.
There on show.
Yes. Those are my first pair of boots too. I was like, my cowboy boots. I was probably 10, I think, when I wore the outfit, or 9.
I know I don't have the cowboy boots. For sure. I didn't keep that.
Oh, that's so cool. So obviously following on from that thing, how did you feel when your daughter told you she wanted a career in music?
I guess from the young age that I thought she was so good, and her music teacher told me too, because of course I thought, oh, it's my daughter. She's really good. She should be winning those competitions, even if other people were. And so I guess I've always just been supportive. I mean, we were talking at 10 when she was 10 years old about her going on tour, and I had a dream she was going to open for Dierks Bentley. We were still waiting for that to happen, but I guess I've just always supported it because it was just so different for me, and it was so fun, and it was maybe it was the challenge of finding things or something, but I just I thought she was always so good on stage. It was just so fun to watch her. She was just like so happy when she could be performing or doing something like that. I know she loves, not just the accolades about being on stage and people clapping, and she just truly, truly enjoyed it. And it, kept her busy, and it kept her entertained, and but she loved it, So I guess from a very young age, I always was very supportive and thought, I didn't think it was going to take this long though. I was like, come on. You think it's always going to happen. Like they're just going to get discovered as a teenager, but just because she was, the same age as Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift started getting all these things coming at 14. I'm like, how do I get Kirstie? How do we help her out with that? Every path is different. And she's obviously has, going to business school and doing all that has helped her with her business. So
yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. So I've always supported that. I've always been excited about it.
My parents came to Nashville when I was 11. And that was our first time coming to Nashville. And we looked at magnet schools for music at the time. So we, as a family, were considering moving to Tennessee, which is crazy. But at the time, like the magnet schools still had chalkboards, and they were, the smart boards were just coming on. So we're kind of like, oh, these are the nicest
falling
schools
off the wall.
Yeah, and just the schools weren't updated yet, so we ended up staying in Wisconsin and just growing the hub there. But the fact that they even considered it is is like wild to me. Like I feel like I can't even process that. Like that's amazing.
Well,
But
Al's cousin and one of my best friends, Lori Kraus, lived down there, and we stayed with her, and so she was kind of talking us into it, about with the music and everything. And then we're like, oh man, this is a big decision, to leave family, leave grandparents and stuff. So I think at that time we decided to stay there, but I like Nashville quite a bit.
well, yeah, you come down like 7
A
or 8
lot.
times this last year.
I know.
That'd be a good time.
So what's your favorite song of your daughter's?
Ooh, I like this one.
Oh my goodness. I guess when she came out with the album, and I still think I love the way it's on the album, is Something New. And it was a song about her moving, to Nashville and stuff. But I think her version is very unique. And I like the runs in it. And that one note, she's got like the money note in there, and it gives me like goosebumps. And she gets really high, and then she's like, belts it out. That's like my favorite part. But she's got so many songs that I like. She'll come up with a new one, and I'm like, oh, I really like that one, So I like Self-Sabotage a lot too.
Yeah, I send my mom all of the like work tapes, demos, final things. So she hears the song like before it's finished being born, kind of. Sometimes I've sent her voice memos of pretty much nothing. Like, me like, hey, I'm not awake yet, but I need to sing this song. Like I've shared that with her before. So I think it's cool for her to see the whole process, like from.
But she's always like, new. Did you like it? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, can't you hear it? Like all the production? I'm like, no. I'm sure it'll sound different, but I can't hear all that, like what's in your brain,
Yeah.
Oh, so cool. Okay, so what song or album should we listen to before we die?
Oh gosh. One of my favorite albums is probably, other than Kirstie's, right? Oh gosh. I was really big on listening to Faith Hill at first, but as far as a classic, I guess my first Styx album was one of my favorite albums, Can't remember the name of it. Had all their big hits on it, like when they first came out. And maybe because it reminds me of high school, or I don't know. It had like Come Sail Away on it, and
Styx played a lot in the house.
Lady was one of my favorite songs in high school. Oh my God, that was like,
when I'm with you, I'm smiling.
Yeah.
Styx played a lot in the house.
They were good. Yes.
So I was just in an interview the other day, and they said, "What of your influences a band? Like you name a band?" And I was like, Styx. Then it was Kiss, actually. Dad really likes Kiss, and then it was probably
AC/DC. He liked,
yeah. He's Kiss, AC/DC, and you were like, you both were Styx and Queen,
and Foreigner,
and ABBA.
Yeah.
Everybody likes ABBA.
I know. You can't help not smiling when you listen to one of those songs, right? We took the kids to Mamma Mia. Actually, Kirstie was about 11 or 12. We took him to Vegas and stayed at Circus, and we took him to Mamma Mia, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was musical.
That is so cool. Mamma Mia rocks. I love both of them. Both films are just amazing. So.
Yes.
So, do you have a favorite musical?
Do I?
Yes.
I always love The Sound of Music. And Kirstie happened to be in it 2 times, once as Gretel and once as Brigida. So I loved watching that show growing up. They used to have it on like once a year or something. I don't know how old I was when it first came out. Was it in the late 60s that came out? Or was it?
I believe so.
Yeah, I just remember that it would be on TV like once a year, and it was always this like big event, like Cinderella only came on once a year, and I always loved The Sound of Music, just the whole story and the kids, and then Kirstie got to be in it, so then it was fun, just the music.
But yeah, every Christmas in the UK, you can guarantee every Christmas we have The Sound of Music because it's always played.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. It's an amazing film. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I used to do a professional theater, and my mom would drive me. She figured out eventually that they could do like a carpool system with the parents, but when I was and I did 5 plays with them before, 5, and each one was 3 months long, and I had 5 shows a week. So sometimes I would have to miss school early or like.
Well, you did half the
wait.
shows.
Half the shows.
Oh yeah,
so
so
like
you
there
did
was
5 shows a week.
10
yeah, 'cause there
shows
was
a
10
week.
shows a week. Yeah.
And the children were double casted. So I did 5 shows a week. And so that means either my mom or someone that had to like take us there from school, take us. And so, yeah, she really made sure, I got there, I had food, like I was good to go. Sometimes she'd come in and help me do my curlers real quick or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started that when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Aw.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Yeah, it was nice when she could make money singing at that age. It was like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. So I just stuck it all away for her. When she went to college, she was able to pay for a semester of college. I'm like, this is the money you made
Yeah,
when
that's
you're
cool.
little. Yeah.
That was definitely awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Totally.
so did you have any side ventures for making money? Like, some kids have a lemonade stand or anything like that. Did Kirstie do anything like that?
I don't remember you doing anything like that.
I can tell you what I didn't do. I did not mow lawns. I babysat, but not as often as my sister. I feel like my sister got into babysitting a lot more when we were younger. I worked, my first job was Dairy Queen when I was 16. And then when my mom told me that I had to quit because I had to get ready to go to college, I remember crying really, really hard and not wanting to leave Dairy Queen.
It's your first job, though. It's your first piece of independence. So it's like, you kind of get attached to it.
Yeah,
And you wrote a song about working at Dairy Queen.
I did. I put that in a song.
Yeah.
Even better. That's very cool. I love that.
Yeah. Standing behind the counter or something.
You wrote a song too for me. You want to tell them about that?
I wrote a song for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
For my graduation, you wrote a song with Mark Allen Burnett. Remember that?
Yeah, I gave them all the stuff and I had them write it. All about her liking Honey Nut Cheerios, raspy voice. Did they ever finish the song?
I believe so. I think I have it on my computer. And then recently we were up, our last time we were up, my mom and I and Jesse sat down outside and we started writing a song together, the 3 of us, and it's always been something my mom's wanted to do.
Yes, I want to be listed on one song that she sings.
And so she got to see the process, and it was really, I think,
was fun.
really cool for her to see us in that creating space and going back and forth. And then she helped a ton, was giving a ton of ideas for lyrics and stuff. So it was just really fun.
Yeah.
And it's a good song. We need to finish it. I think we have a date on the calendar for the next.
Yeah. Switch the candles.
Mm-hmm. Switch the candles. That's what's called.
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, you'll have to let us know as soon as you finish it because we want to hear it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Kirstie, would you like to read what you had written about your mom?
Yes, I would. Okay. So for all of you who are tuning in that have never met my mother before, I am so happy she's here today. Lori Kraus, down there in whatever corner you see her on. But she is 1,000% an amazing mother of 2 girls, myself and my younger sister, Kelsey. And when we came into this world, she literally made it her, every being of her body, every cell, to just be a good mother. And I think a lot of that had to do with that she waited to have us till later. And yeah, she's an amazing mother. So here's what I wrote.
I'm not gonna cry, am I?
You might.
I'm not a crier usually in front of people also.
These are just some things that my mom taught me, and things that I feel like I have taken from her, things that I'm thankful for her, to be the woman that I am today. So my mom has taught me to laugh a lot and be a giver. My mom is the kindest woman I know and is also the most positive person on the planet. She gave me her tendencies to be very neat and tidy. She also has molded me to be a person that sees things through, never quits, and stays true to my word, and is kind to everyone. I am so thankful my mom has given me so much support around my love for music from a very young age. She started to read a whole smorgasbord of books about the music industry, including the book, Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business. And then the two of us went on to tackle and record my first CD, which we chose a track, aka I think my mom chose this track, called Mama's Turn. And one of the lines in the song is, now it's Mama's turn, Mama's turn, Mama's turn to be treated like a queen. And she, when I listen back to that song, she deserves every single lyric, and so much more. She has gotten me into so many shows growing up and took me to NSAI meetings at 15, and that was just the start of it.
I made you go. Sometimes you didn't want to go to those meetings. I'm like, you're going. We're going to go learn songwriting.
Yeah, there's like one. I will never be able to verbally express the amount of gratitude and love that I have for my mom. And I love you so much, Mom. Thank you for doing this today. And you're amazing.
I love you.
And if I literally am half the mother that you are to me and Kelsey, I will feel good about that.
Thank you.
I did not think I was going to cry. But happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Oh, thank you. One nice thing, my mom wasn't a big showy person, so I really try to do that with my kids. Like tell them I loved them all the time, kissed them all the time, hugged them all the time, So I don't know if I was like too much, but that was always something I wanted to do.
But so you're a rock. You're amazing, Mom. You're a rock for both Kelsey and I, and neither of us would be who we are today without the loving and support that you've given us.
Oh,
you deserve this moment.
I don't like being in the spotlight, so I'll just stand
I think you did really good today.
Oh, thank
Officially,
you.
happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, thank you. Early,
happy
right?
Mother's Day.
Oh. So you guys are gonna like show these, or how it was gonna do? What are you doing with all this?
Yes. These will be posted.
Okay.
It will be uploaded to YouTube, and then everybody can watch it. So it'll be good.
All right.
I did not think I was gonna tear up.
I didn't
I'm so
think
glad
you
I read
that. Yes. And those are the kinds of things she writes in cards to me. So I really always appreciate that they're very thankful and very, all kids could be not on their best behavior all the time, but I'm so happy that I'm close to both my girls. That means the world to me.
Really close. I think that was one of my mom's goals, was to be, close with us. And I feel like I can go to her for anything, the entire spectrum. She's definitely that person in my life, and I don't know how she does it, but she always answers. like always answers.
Answers the phone.
Yes. My phone's on like silent, like all the time, but she answers.
Every once in a while I'll miss a call, but.
And I think in my whole entire shows that I've ever done, like obviously she doesn't live in Nashville anymore, but before I moved to Nashville, she missed like 3 shows total.
Yes,
I'm talking,
like
I played
everyone.
I played every weekend, and they were at every single show.
We were the groupies or the roadies. We had to help haul the equipment.
And one thing we didn't share is my mom is my official CFO.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get it wrong. So on her social media platforms, she has now put that as her description, CFO of Kirstie Kraus. And this is as she's transitioning to her 2 days a week and 3 days a week with me. And soon in the future, she plans on just being a part of the business full time. But that's her official title. She keeps everything organized on that side and does the taxes, and that's her way of supporting and being part of the business, and not to mention a bunch of admin work that's so helpful.
Emails, If it gets much bigger, I'll probably have to turn some of the accounting over. If it gets beyond my small business knowledge, so.
We got QuickBooks now, though.
I did. I got QuickBooks this year because I had 5 million spreadsheets, and I still keep some of the spreadsheets, but at least the QuickBooks, it's going to be so much easier at the end of the year with taxes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So take away a couple spreadsheets.
Yeah.
But it's fun being part of the business because then I can help. I've always been kind of nosy that way. Like I've always been on the PTA boards, and I've always been on all the boards because I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to learn, So it's like, it's always fun for me. I can't be the type of person that does the same thing every day.
Mm-hmm.
Go to work, come home, watch TV. I mean, I get so bored. I got to keep learning and keep doing new things. So that's what's fun about this for me.
Yeah.
That's
well, that was really, really fun. And I want to make sure I thank both of you, Paula and Donna, for one, asking me, but having us on for this opportunity to be able to celebrate my mom and put her on the spot a little bit.
It is our pleasure. We're just glad that both of you are here with us, and we had a chance to talk to both of you and just
that was
your mom better,
Yeah, it's probably fun to meet the families of the women that you see that sing in that, to see kind of like, where they came from or whatever.
Yeah. How did you say it? The women behind the women.
There you go. I like that. I'm the woman behind the woman. And then it's always so weird. You think like they wouldn't be here if you didn't create them, It's like so weird. I look at baby pictures of her and I'm like, gosh, that was her. And now, and as a mom, you remember that like it was yesterday, when she was born, like in my arms, it's like, wow, how did this happen? 31 years later.
The Crazy Women Country and all of Kirstie's fans owe you a lot because, for you, we wouldn't have this amazing artist and
well, good.
Perfect.
Yes, and the infectious positivity is definitely true. I feel it all the time whenever I talk to her. And I'm like,
good. Yes, that's good. That's, you want to portray that. You can, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it too, Sometimes you can be down and out and you just smile and keep doing stuff, and pretty soon you're in that better place,
Definitely. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
This has been so much fun.
It was great to meet you guys. Hopefully we'll meet you someday in the person.
Absolutely.
See you soon.
Yes.
All right.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.